Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Parker Group Live. Today we are super excited to be here with Erica Wolfe, the managing partner of Wolfe and Associates. And we wanted to talk today about a topic that comes up a lot, which is real estate settlements. So you are there usually at the happy finish line when people are like getting the keys to the new house and everything's gone well. But I think a lot of times people have questions about that day and settlement, what it's going to look like. It can feel very serious because it is. You're signing, big documents. And so we thought we would talk about the top 3 tips to make sure that people have a smooth, successful real estate settlement and that day is all just sunshine and rainbows and happiness.
Absolutely. Well, first and foremost, thank you so much to the Parker Group and having me on today. I'm very honored to be here and to talk to you about the ways to make your settlement process a little bit smoother. I'm going to give you some important information so you know what to expect.
Yeah.
So like Rachel said, I'm an attorney with Wolfe and Associates, and my primary focus is real estate settlements. I always think it's very important that you engage services of an attorney who is very familiar with the real estate process. There's a lot of nuances and different things you need to know when it comes to real estate. So having someone like that in your side is really important. If you don't want to have an unsuccessful settlement, you'll go ahead with someone who doesn't know what they're doing.
Yes, and that is something important that Erica just brought up is in a lot of states, there are companies that are just title companies that can perform real estate settlements. Delaware is not one of those states, so you do have to have an attorney, and you want to have an experienced in real estate attorney.
Correct. So some of our neighboring states use just solely title companies, but in the state of Delaware, it is required that an attorney be involved in that process as well.
Yep.
So some of my 3 little quick tips to ensure that you have a successful settlement. The first one that I find very often is people who really want to get to the table as fast as possible, especially if you're using a lender to help finance your purchase. A 20-day, 25-day settlement is probably not going to be realistic. And I find that sometimes when people want to rush to the table, it ends up causing more stress and more problems.
Yes.
So I always recommend that if you're using a lender to help finance your purchase, that you are picking a settlement date about 45 days out. We can always close earlier if we're ready, but that way everyone has enough time to kind of get to the table.
That makes sense. Yep.
Absolutely. The second tip I have is to actually read and understand your agreement of sale or also your contract.
That's a good one.
You'll find that once you find the house of your dreams and you work with your real estate team and you go ahead, you've put in an offer, it's been accepted, you're going to reduce those terms down into a contract. What those terms say in that contract are legally binding and can be enforceable in a court of law. So you really want to make sure that you understand what you're agreeing to and that everything that you want is included in that contract. Just a quick little example. Sometimes people are really passionate about certain architectural features that they see in the home, and it's not necessarily clear whether or not they're going or staying. If you want that particular chandelier in the dining room to stay, it's probably a good idea that you write the dining room chandelier stays.
Very true. Yep. And that's something that you need to make sure that when you're sitting down with your real estate agent to write that contract, be honest. If you have questions, if there's something that's really important to you that leaves the house or stays in the house, that's the time to bring it up. So make sure that you are fully confident in what you're signing before you go. And that is our job as a real estate agent to help you through that. But sometimes people are shy and they don't want to look dumb, and so they don't ask the question. Ask the question, understand. That's a great tip, Erica.
Absolutely. Yeah. I feel the more prepared you are before the settlement table, a little less nerve-wracking it can be.
Absolutely. Yep.
Another important thing, too, to be mindful with your contract is that there are a lot of dates included within your contract regarding inspections and mortgage commitment deadlines. It's always a good idea to read through your contract, be mindful of those dates, talk about it with your realtor about, who's keeping track of this, how is this going to work, and make sure you're mindful of those.
Definitely true. Yep. And so especially with inspections, every agent's different. So some agents are going to expect you to be more proactive in that process. I know like on our team, we will schedule the inspections for you, but you still want to know when they're going to be happening and, keep your finger on the pulse.
Absolutely.
Definitely a good point. And when Erica sends you a request for information or your lender will too, make sure you get back to them quickly so that they can stay on track.
Absolutely.
Yep. Great.
And that kind of goes really nicely into my third point, which is communicating appropriately. So we all get it. We're all busy people. It's the day and age of just doing 1,000 things, but communicating with your real estate team is critically important, especially the final days moving up into settlement.
Yeah.
I know my office, we often send an engagement letter that gives you a lot of great information about closing and prompts for some return information to come back to our office so we can adequately prepare. And sometimes delays in receiving those information and that from clients can really be critical in whether or not we can meet our deadlines or not.
Yeah.
And I always say too, let us know how to communicate with you. If you're an email person, let us know. If you'd rather us pick up the phone, let us know that too.
Yep. Yeah, I would agree. Very important. If you don't check your email ever, then don't don't make that be the main way you're communicating about time-sensitive contract information.
Absolutely.
Great tips. Well, thank you so much, Erica. We appreciate your time. This was awesome. You guys make sure you heed these tips and have a great, wonderful settlement where it's all confetti and champagne and just getting the keys and enjoying your new place. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and see you later.
Bye.